dragons and dinosaurs. There's something about gigantic, scaly beasts stomping or soaring through history or legend that just never gets old.
Honestly, same here. I remember as a kid, digging up the backyard thinking I'd find a T-Rex, or maybe even a dragon's lair. It's wild how both of those creatures, real or mythical, have totally captured our imaginations for centuries.
What's funny is, even though they seem so different, one is all about scientific discovery, the other is pure fantasy. They're constantly linked in stories and pop culture. There's got to be a reason for that.
Totally. I feel like every epic fantasy movie comes complete with a dragon, but even museums sometimes play into the dragon-dinosaur mashup. That makes me wonder, how did we start mixing up these two in the first place?
So, let's rewind. Dragons weren't always the fire-breathing winged beasts we picture today, right? Early dragon legends read more like giant snakes slithering around, not so much swooping down from the sky.
Exactly. In places like ancient Egypt, dragons were basically fierce, massive serpents. Some even had the power to spit poison or breathe fire. It's like their forms kept evolving in our stories over time, just like Pokemon, but a lot scarier.
And it depends where you are in the world. Chinese dragons are usually more snake-like, almost elegant, and seen as symbols of power or good luck. Jump to Europe and suddenly dragons have wings, claws, and a serious attitude problem.
What's kind of amazing is that nobody had ever actually found a dragon, but they still kept popping up in art, myths, and even religious stories, each culture putting its own spin on the dragon legend.
That actually reminds me, before dinosaur was even a word, people sometimes found huge bones and just assumed, yep, must be a dragon. Imagine stumbling on a fossilized thigh bone in the 1600s and trying to explain it.
Oh, for sure. Robert Plot, back in 1677, found this massive bone and figured it was from a giant human, which is kind of hilarious in hindsight. But later on, even the scientists were calling these mystery bones dragons for ages.
It took until the 1800s for folks like William Buckland and Richard Owen to connect the dots, realizing these bones were from a whole lost world of giant reptiles. That's when Dinosauria finally entered the chat.
But even then, the transition wasn't instant. For decades, people were still using dragon and dinosaur almost interchangeably. Old museum labels must have been a total mess.
So, why did people keep confusing the two for so long? I mean, ancient dragon tales were already out there before anyone found dinosaur bones, right?
Part of it is just human nature, I think. When faced with something totally new or weird, like digging up a massive fossilized animal, people try to fit it into what they already know. Dragons were the biggest, baddest things in old stories, so that made sense.
That urge to explain the unknown is powerful. If I'd found a gigantic jawbone with fangs and no context, I'd probably jump straight to dragon too, especially if everyone around me grew up on those legends.
And it became a feedback loop. The more fossils we found, the crazier dragon myths got. Pretty soon, stories and science started feeding off each other, and suddenly dragons and dinosaurs were tangled up in the same narrative.
Funny how, even now, we love putting dragons and dinosaurs side by side, even though they're completely different animals. Dragons are all fire and flight, while dinosaurs had their own quirks, like feathers or swimming skills.
Yeah, and dragons get all these bonus features, super intelligence, armored scales, sometimes even magic, while dinosaurs, fascinating as they are, were real-life animals with their own mysteries. Still, both fire up our imagination in totally different ways.
It's wild to think about how our ideas keep changing too. The dragons we see now in movies are nothing like the serpents of ancient texts. And even dinosaurs look different every time there's a new discovery or study.
Who knows, maybe in another couple hundred years, the next generation will have a whole new name for dinosaurs. Or maybe dragons will get an upgrade in our myths. Either way, the stories aren't going anywhere soon.
Thinking about it, maybe that's the real magic. Dragons and dinosaurs let us dream bigger, whether we're hunting for fossils or imagining epic battles in the sky.
Absolutely. These creatures, real or imagined, are kind of like mirrors for our hopes and fears. Sometimes they scare us, sometimes they inspire us, and sometimes they make us want to build a cardboard tale and stomp around the living room.
Honestly, I still do that on weekends. But seriously, It's comforting to know that our fascination isn't just about the creatures themselves, it's about curiosity and wonder. And that's something we'll never outgrow.
Couldn't agree more. Whether it's museum halls or bedtime stories, dragons and dinosaurs are here to stay. And honestly, the world's way more interesting with them in it.